Hello, children of the cosmos. It's yours truly, Mr. G, calling once again, and you're listening to Unidentified Education Podcast, your source for the unknown, unsolved mysteries of the universe. Thank you so much for joining me. It is 2021, April 17th, pre-arrival of the extraterrestrial. The shields are holding and we are ready to receive from the mothership. So let's begin. Big news. This pyramid leaked video from the Pentagon has gone viral. Everyone's talking about it because the Pentagon says it's legit. Now, there is another picture out there where a jet pilot took a picture of what appears to be a triangle-shaped object. It's pretty clear. Well, not pretty clear, but it's clear, most clear than most of the other sightings. I think it looks like, and others say it looks like a balloon. It resembles a Batman-shaped balloon, but it's really high in the sky, and people have different theories that the balloons will pop if it's filled with helium. Now, this is a Pentagon-released photo, and it kind of seems like the Pentagon is throwing us curveballs. They'll throw a UFO that looks like a balloon, and then they give us the pyramid UFO that's flying around. It looks like a war zone. I don't know. I think in the end, once the information's released, we're just going to have more and more questions. That's all it's going to lead to. Now there's patents out there for certain types of mechanisms and machines, and people are calling them the UFO patents. But I mean, they got to know something. But I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but it's just going to lead to more and more questions, and that's fine. You know, we need to invest more money into researching UFOs or advanced aerial phenomenon, whatever they're going to call it, whatever they're going to change to. And I understand that they have to keep the U.S. stuff under wraps because our adversaries might steal the technology. But throwing us curveballs, giving us, a real photo here, a fake photo there. Out of all the data we've collected throughout the years, there has to be some legitness in some of them. I know there is. We all know there is. And I was surfing through the interwebs, and somebody uploaded on a UFO group a couple of, several pictures of alien autopsies, and you have your naysayers laughing, but I messaged back. I said, out of all the curveballs the Pentagon's thrown us, the government's thrown us, one of these pictures of an autopsy of an alien might be most likely real, but they've just given us all this mixture of real and fake, and we just automatically dismissed it. And the naysayers are on the forums. I don't know if you're a naysayer, go on a different forum. Let us believers have our fun. Let me have my fun theorizing alien tech and possibilities. So, it's exciting for the UFO community. With all the information that has to be released, I think around June, I think it's going to lead to more questions and answers. But that's the fun. That's the fun. It's a mystery, because once we understand everything, it's a different ball game. We know they're real, and here's the downside. Some of these ETs hate our guts. Some of these ETs are out for their own agenda, and there's some that just really care about the Earth, and you guys are kind of just in the middle of it. That's pretty much the realistic view of it's not going to be, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're going to jump right into, Star Wars, universe type thing. I don't know. It's something, it was so much fun theorizing and seeing the possibilities, and now it's getting kind of real. Whether the U.S. tries to come up with a conclusion to the UFO phenomenon, which I hope they don't, because we're not going to accept it, but I'm hoping they don't try to come up with a conclusion of there are adversaries or they'll come out saying, oh, 50% of this is our stuff and the rest could be explained as, maybe it is, maybe it's not ours. They might even say 90% of it is ours and 90% of it, and the other 5% is just a lens flare or something that just appears to be an aircraft. We're not talking so much about aliens yet. I like to talk about the ET, the fun stuff. Right now, we're just talking about these aircrafts and who's flying them and where they're coming from. We never know. It could be a private organization the whole time. Someone who's in contact with very smart people and they're not associated with the U.S. government in any way. So it's all third party. I don't know. The government has something in store. I'm not trying to be non-patriotic or anything, but we've all known the curveballs and the conclusions that our government has come up with when it comes to advanced technologies. They constantly let us know that there's more and more aircrafts out there that can go really fast and can do different things. And they might just kind of give us that wink, that's ours, wink, wink. But we can't confirm or really deny, wink, wink. You've been seeing our things. Maybe they'll take credit for it. Are the believers going to believe? No. Because that's just like, oh, come on. You could have thought of something better than that. But we're going to have to wait a couple more months for the big reveal. And I'm going to be glued to the dang TV. I don't really watch TV. I'm just YouTube clips. I'll watch CNN. I'll watch Fox 4. I'm not, I like PBS as well. I'm not going to lean to the far left or far right. I don't like to talk about politics here. But it seems like Fox 4 really talks more. They seem like to be more into the lore of it rather than CNN. They just want to dismiss it, it seems. I'm not holding bias. I watch both. I watch it all. I want both sides. But other than that, I just really looking forward to that. All right. I will be back after a word from our sponsor. Don't you go anywhere. And we are back. I had a weird dream. I'm always having weird dreams. I had a dream that I'm trying to be more healthy, eat more healthy, but I just have weird dreams that I had an open hole in my stomach, and the doctors didn't want to fix it because they said I wasn't eating right, and the only way they could fix it was when I started losing weight. So everything I ate was just coming out of my stomach. It was a horrible experience. I'm always thinking about the afterlife, and that's another topic I love to theorize about. What is it that I do not doubt that there is an afterlife. In fact, I've had experiences with the paranormal since I was a young lad. I have been inside a quotations haunted house, and I've talked about it in my earlier podcasts. I've always had this weird sense of feeling of when I'm entering a house, depending on the age and who lives in it, I can always tell if it's a happy house or a sad house or an angry house. I can always tell when turmoil or it's at peace or a lack of religion. I know it's weird, but I have no doubt that there is an afterlife, and it conflicts with the belief of religion in my family and certain people, what they believe. And it's interesting that people can contact the afterlife, but in certain religions, it strictly says it's not possible because they are either damned or in some type of nirvana, heaven, whatever. But yet you have people contacting the great beyond. So it kind of makes you wonder what are the rules of passing on, do you have a choice to stay here and play ghost, or do you move on and to judgment? Those are the questions that it seems like you kind of have a choice in the beginning. If you don't move on, you're kind of missing out. If you stay, you can somewhat talk to the living. They should definitely research and put money into the research, because it seems like, the only way we're doing it is people building spirit boxes in their garage. And there's a lot of stories out there and documented stories and of people contacting what appears to be a person who is deceased. But I've always had a connection with the paranormal. I don't know if it's a type of psychic ability, but it's, I can, the person doesn't have to be dead. I can tell what type of person they are. If they suffer from anxiety, if they're on edge, I'll feel on edge. If they're angry, I'll feel angry. If they're sad, I can feel that they're very sad. And I feel like I have some kind of connection that way. I don't prefer to have it, because I rather be observing than having to be in that. And that's why when I go into crowded areas, I have to kind of scan the crowd. I have to feel the crowd. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm feeling anxious, I'm not going to enjoy myself. How does that relate to paranormal? I think it's just like an ability. And it's the same thing whether you're living or dead. You go into a house, and that house, if the vibe is bad, I'm going to feel real bad. I'm going to have a bad vibe. And I've been in houses where they have the estate sales, and you just have a feeling that someone doesn't want to sell these things. Whoever it was was upset that people are going in. Imagine you dying, and then you realize, oh, I'm dead, but I'm still conscious, and I can see what's going on, and there are people coming into my house and just swiping things off and paying someone and just walking out. You're just, you still have an attachment to those things, and I can tell and I can feel that weird vibe of that. It's a very interesting thing, and I can use it to my advantage, but I'm not going to say I'm psychic or in any way. But I can immerse myself into that environment. And people say, oh, I wish I had the ability to talk to ghosts or see ghosts. And it's really not a big deal. I mean, if anything, it keeps you up at night. It puts you on edge. I had a theory that entities can feed you false ideas. I think it happens to people that are on substance abuse or mental illness. I believe that, I guess spirits, if you will, or entities can influence a certain idea and way of thinking onto certain people that are sensitive in that way, that are kind of like antennas, and they can hone in on certain, vibes. And I believe that there's entities that can figure out who's that person and give them a false feeling of either anxiety, dread, insecurity, and that could follow them throughout their day, and they can just bring a person down. Is that a form of possession? That's a question. That's a good question to ask. I'm not an expert. I need to have an expert on that. A psychic. If there any psychics out there, or anybody who has that type of connection with the paranormal, you guys hit me up on my email. It's a uepodcast@aol.com, or you can send me a message on Anchor. It's anchor.fm/u-e. But I need to contact more people in that realm. I like to immerse myself to a certain extent, but then I have to distance myself. That's why I love visiting places that have history, because I can legitly feel the history, and most people are like that. But I can legitly feel the feeling of that, and a lot of times it's the people that if the spirits, if you will, or the vibe. It's most likely you don't belong here type vibe, almost as if it's a conscience of its own. The house, the area is like, well, they kind of know you're not from here, so. It's a weird feeling. It's most of the time it's like that. And other times it's a welcoming feeling. It's a feeling of being at home. The feeling you get when Christmas around, that warm, fuzzy feeling. You'll have that. And that's rare that you get that. It seems like we can easily be more negative than positive, and negative is so much easier to transfer from person to person. And we can do that by words, but I think for some reason, as we pass on and our spirits are around us, we can pass on that. I guess it's a form of language. I had a weird thing that happened. Weird things have happened throughout my life, and I guess I'll share a story. We were at a funeral, at a family member's funeral, and this person wasn't really religious, but you have the priest there, and you have the ritual and the ceremony, and I was just feeling so you're sad, and all of a sudden this weird feeling of a burst of energy just kind of flew right through me, and it kind of almost like you touch something electrical. You just have that the hairs on your it wasn't scary. It was just like you feel like electrified energy. And then it seemed like it shot through me. And then at first the priest was talking, and then a lamp just burst. It just got real, like a movie. It got real bright, and then it popped. And then that's when I felt the burst of energy fly through. Such a weird feeling. I work in the funeral industry, and till this day, I haven't felt that. I felt other things, and I'll share with you one day. I'll try to be discreet. I won't say names or locations, but I've always had a connection with, I guess, paranormal afterlife. And I've always had an idea of, yes, you move on, but you're still conscious. And, if you haven't moved on, then you're definitely around and you're interacting with the living, and you can try to communicate. It almost seems like they're on a different dimension or wavelength. We are moving slower than they are. They're moving so fast. That's why there's instances of people hearing like high chirping voices, or when they try to contact them on a spirit box. It seems like they're moving way faster than we are. We're moving so slow. And that also might give us the impression that they can also see the future. Maybe they're seeing it at a different time pace. They see the wreck before it happens, and they know, well, I have a certain amount of time before it happens. I can intervene. And maybe that's where the whole idea of angels intervening with, I don't know. That's just a theory. But, why am I sharing this? I don't know. It's just, I wanted to, everyone have an idea of where I'm coming from. I'm kind of a weird guy, but I'm down to earth guy. And, I want to start a community of people to share their stories and share if, maybe they have an ability, or they kept it suppressed. And if you have an ability that you're suppressed and feel suppressed, or, anything like that, there's people that say that they're healers out there. That I've run into a guy who, he wasn't trying to swindle us or nothing, but it was a group of friends, and we were at it was a festival, and he had a daughter and a son, and they were crying. And apparently he came out to them and said that he had a psychic ability. And he said, you guys, and the daughter was so embarrassed and crying, and she stopped all three of us. He goes, I can tell, I can, you give off an impression. You don't have to tell me who you are. And he went through each of us, and we all said, yes, you're right. That is me. And we weren't trying to be nice. He was on the spot with us. He knew who we are, how our personalities, and if we wanted to be where we're at. He just knew. And it's funny how I've run into random events like that. I guess you would call people who are in touch with the paranormal, the psychic ability. It's just, you're either in that zone or you're not. If you're not, and you're completely dismissive of everything, you're going to find a logical solution, and you're going to be just skeptical, and that's fine. But there's people that are really into this, and they seem to find other people, and they find the answers through meeting other people. So if you have any types of abilities like that, contact me. The link's going to be on the podcast, and I would like to hear from you. Okay, we'll be right back. They used to have back in the 90s, they would talk about the hive mind and how we must be aware of the hive mind. It's when we're all connected together through a mega mainframe, and everybody who is connected to this mainframe think alike. They know what each other are thinking. We don't have to talk. We communicate through the mainframe, through our brains. And that used to be a sci-fi, but it's a reality with Neuralink. And I I'm so interested in this. If you look online, there's a video of a monkey, and the computer is the chip is in his brain, and he's controlling the game with his mind, his brain. And that's the idea that we'll be able to do the same in humans. I would so volunteer for that. He said that, it could record your thoughts, it can implant thoughts, it can record your dreams. It could fix, whether you have a mental disability or physical or, something to do with your nerves. It can fix all that. I know it's going to be very expensive, but I would totally, volunteer for that. If they could, make me smart, like super smart, I would totally do it. Because I'm not so smart. But the hive mind, is it such a bad idea that it may not be for you, but what if there's a group of people that are, ones that have done a horrible crime, and instead of, being incarcerated all their lives, they can be rehabilitated with a mind wipe? I don't know, with a Neuralink. Or not Neuralink, but with the hive mind. And if they all think alike, we can download, a type of rehabilitation program, and they can live, a non-criminal life, because everything's just with the mainframe, and they're not thinking those negative thoughts. They have a certain intelligence, and they have a certain way of thinking, and they can move on with life, and they can become productive. Maybe it's volunteer. It's like, do you want to get out of death row, or do you want to get out of life in prison? And you must join the hive mind. You can be out there, but your mind is going to be totally wiped, and you're going to think what the mainframe gives you. You're going to live, you're going to be alive, but you're not going to have your criminal past. Those thoughts, those negative thoughts are going to be gone. You'll remember your family. So, I'm thinking there's positive things to hive mind, one mind. It could do away with wars, I think. If everyone is on that, there's probably going to be some company that stays out of the link, that stays out of the database, and just has everyone else. That's the thing. There's going to be alternate plans, alternate agendas. But will that stop a war? Will that stop the whole idea of people, just a hostile way? Can we, as a society, human race, actually, can we evolve? Can we become a better civilization through a hive mind? If everybody thought the same values and the same judgment, and everybody knew who, you can have your own personality. You're just all on the same wavelength through a hive mind. Everyone's on the same page. Can that help civilization move on? And, there won't be really learning disabilities. Everybody will be processed with enough intelligence to live a successful life. Everybody will get paid. If you're a person who takes care of, maintenance or something like that, you can have, they can implant, all the electrical technician, as a technician in general, you'll know everything. Electrical, mechanical, and there's people that'll work on an environment, and they'll have all the biochemists, they'll have all that. So, in the future, it's going to be categorized. Do you want to be a technician, like a scientist? Do you want to focus on the earth? Do you want to focus on science or space? And they can implant, and you won't even have to go to college, and you'll get paid for helping the environment. I want to be a scientist. Okay. We'll put you in the science category, implant all the skills it takes to be a scientist. And then I don't think it's a bad idea. Or if you want to be an artist and choose, maybe they have all the database of all the artists, and you'll be in charge of making people relax and making new music. Will you get paid millions and millions of dollars? I don't think so. I think everyone will be on the same pay scale, but everybody will be on that. It'll be on a level, and nobody's better than the other one. It's controlled. And is that such a bad thing? I don't think so. I'm kind of down for this hive mind. This is in the future. Right now, we're not into that right now. That's not in our lexicon. We are free birds. We want to fly. We're still young. Talking about later down the road, for the sake of, the human race. Is that such a good idea? that Neuralink, I would totally, it's a robot that they made that implants it for you. So everything's precise, and you got to charge it up at night. But it's an interface, and you can control your laptop just by looking at it and see your dreams. I wonder what my dreams are like. They're probably all fuzzy, and I've actually, I don't remember them, but I kind of remembered, like, in your dream you think it's a good idea, in reality it's just something dumb. But then you could also find out if, like, deja vu is a real thing, or is it just something you experienced similar before? I don't know. I don't think it'll unlock a lot of things. The Hive Mind is I think we should definitely consider that in the future. And Wavelength should, Wavelength, I think, is that called Wavelength? Neuralink. Why did I say Wavelength? Neuralink. If Neuralink succeeds, no telling what they're going to do. What if you can pay one, like, lump sum of college and sit down, and we're going to download 4 years of college into you. Instantly, you're going to know it. That's a game changer. It's going to be so awesome. I don't, for the price of college, you can download it in your brain for this price. I would totally do it. Well, I think I've rambled on enough. Listeners, guys, thank you so much. If you guys want to become a supporter, you can visit anchor.fm/U-E. And for only 99 cents a month, you can support my program, and it'll help me sustain future episodes. I'm on YouTube now, and I'm probably going to start doing live stuff. If you YouTube Unidentified Education Podcast, it should pop up. I'm going to start putting the link on the Anchor website, and hopefully I'll be able to expand, and I can get other people on this crazy journey with me. There's so much I would like to share and listen to others. And if you have any questions or want to chit chat or whatever, make sure you email me or send me a message. Thank you for listening, wherever you may be, work, home, astro, traveling, wherever you're at. Good things will come to you and only you. Be well, children of the cosmos. Sleep good tonight. Have good dreams. Goodbye.